Hello, this is Andy Davis with the Clatsop County Democratic Central Committee, and we are here with Commissioner Lianne Thompson today, who is running for re-election for the Clatsop County Commissioners. And Lianne, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you talking to us and running for the commission again. If you want to say hi, introduce yourself a little bit.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lianne Thompson. As Andy said, I'm an incumbent Clatsop County Commissioner. I'm asking for support for my third term.
Thank you for being willing to step up to the plate for even a third time, Lianne. I'll just ask some simple questions of you today so that we can ask the voters who don't already know you to get to know you a little bit and to get your thoughts about a term going forward. So first question is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of experiences and expertise you bring to the table for this position?
Thank you, Andy, for the question. I would amend your question slightly. I'd tell you first about my attitude. I have an attitude of my heart is in this place for the people and the place. I do this because I have a heart for service for a place I love. I have education, a bachelor's degree from Michigan State in humanities, a master's degree from the University of Michigan in social work with groups. I took a whole bunch of adult free choice learning in organizational and interpersonal development because I like to think in terms of complex, adaptive, interactive systems. And I have a joy in learning. So I'm curious about what people have to say now. How do we go forward? How do we build good community? Some people do politics as though it's warfare. I'm going to find an enemy and I'm going to hurt them. I'm going to take them out. That's not my attitude. My attitude is, how do we build sustainable community together? How do we bring out the best and deal with the worst in each other? How do we show curiosity and tender compassion and still have a sense of limits? Because I'm committed to legal, ethical, fiscally prudent public service. I'm committed to knowing that the real cost of everything is paid by somebody. I'm committed to listening, but I ask in return that people listen to me, because I have some folks that think effective interactions with their commissioner consist of they're going to tell me their point of view repeatedly with greater volume and greater venom until I obey them. So this isn't a thing where I can be coerced into obedience. Rather, it's a thing where we listen to each other and we listen so that we're working for the best possible solution for everybody, the greatest good for the greatest number. That's the CERT motto. And I'm not an active CERT anymore because I do county commissioner business, but I'm interested in the greatest good for the greatest number still. I owned and operated a small business, both in Alaska and in Michigan and in Oregon, because I like business. I like the buying and selling of things. I love customer service, being trued up to customer service. What can I do that makes your job easy? That's my fundamental point of view. I learned that as a child operating because my dad sold beer, and he succeeded because he had a customer service mentality. I've translated that into a public service mentality that includes customer service, that devotion to everybody's well-being. My experience on the County Board of Commissioners, before that, I was a planning commissioner in Clatsop County for 4 years. I've been there over 7 years now. And when I was sworn into office, I was the 5th Clatsop County Commissioner in 7 years for what's supposed to be a 4-year term. There's been a churn in leadership at the county commissioner level and at the county manager level. I've I have supervised, because it's an iterative process too, three county managers. We need stability.
Thank you, Lianne. And I apologize. You heard my alarm there for a second. I'll switch to just stopwatch instead of the alarm. But
that's okay, because I'm looking at my hair this morning. Zoom is good, but then I'm okay.
Happily not on video. So I appreciate you being on video for us to see you. You look great. Let me go into the second question, which is, why are you running for this position or for reelection, and what things do you want to accomplish in this next term for you, your third term?
Thank you. So I'm running for the position. The work I've been doing is about housing, broadband, childcare, water issues, fires, forestry, all of the issues that impact people in Clatsop County. The way the developmental arc of leadership goes, it's getting into the room. Which room do I need to get into? Getting into the room, then getting a seat at the table, then getting a voice at the table, then a vote at the table, then finally a position of leadership at the table to set the agenda. I'm at that stage of my development as a county commissioner. It takes a while to build the relationships that allow a person to rise to a position of leadership. It takes being known. And I go out not only inside Clatsop County, but I go out regionally. I'm now chair of the Community Action Team, the anti-poverty agency that covers Columbia, Clatsop, and Tillamook County. I'm now co-chair of the Association of Oregon Counties County Solutions, because what we're looking at all over Oregon is how do we help counties do good in their place? That gives me credibility with judges and commissioners all over Oregon, with state agency people, with our federal delegation. But it took a while to get to that position. I'm also chair of District 7 in the Association of Oregon Counties. That's Columbia, Clatsop, Tillamook, and Lincoln counties. I'm vice chair of COLPAC, the regional Columbia, Clatsop, Tillamook, Western Washington County economic development entity, and Northwest ACT, which advises the Oregon Transportation Commission and ODOT on issues that matter to people in all of these counties. And the reason I've risen to those positions of leadership is because I started out listening. I listen to everybody. I listen to my constituents. I listen to my colleagues. I listen to anybody who's around me so that I can learn from them and they can learn from me, and we can work together on good projects. So it takes a while. My experience, if you add up the total experience of all the other commissioners on the Clatsop County Board of Commissioners, it's a little bit more than what I have, but I have almost as much experience as all the rest of them combined. We have this issue in Clatsop County of a churn of leadership. I have worked with 5 county managers in my 7+ years in office. That's a churn in leadership. We need stability if we're going to continue to have focused progress and the relationships that allow for that focused progress. We are also blessed now with a stable, wonderful county manager. I want to stay and keep working with him and with my colleagues. Thank you, Andy.
Sure, thank you. And then our final regular question anyway, which is in the past 4 years, what do you think the commission could have done better, and what would you change?
That's an excellent, thought-provoking question. And those are my favorites. When I think to 4 years ago, so much has changed. We had different commissioners sitting on the County Board of Commissioners. We had a different county manager. We've had more stability in the department heads at the county, but the churn of leadership. And I think, how could we have addressed that churn in leadership, looking at the past and going forward? Because I'm somebody who loves to do performance analysis, organizational analysis to support the development. So what I hope going forward is that the county leadership, the county manager, the county commissioners as a body, you see that we are linked together, that we are coordinated, that we are cooperating, and then we are reaching out individually and as commissioners and as county government to all of the entities, all of the cities, all of the NGOs, the faith community, the businesses, into a larger, more complete, more complex tapestry of services for people in Clatsop County. If we continue with our relationships, if we continue to true ourselves up, because we did have our second iteration of a strategic plan. We had a first one way back when, under Peter Hudala, when he was chair of the Clatsop County Board of Commissioners, and I was the contractor who successfully provided that facilitation service to the County Board of Commissioners and prepared the report. Then there was a gap. Okay, then we did it again. Now we have a strategic plan. How do we set goals, set strategic directions, and then monitor for progress, and then adjust and improve? Because I'm always looking for organizational development. I'm always looking for improvement. Because look, we get tax dollars. We get tax dollars from businesses. We get tax dollars from individuals. We get grants from the federal government and the state government. How do we put those to best use for people in Clatsop County? And it takes setting the policy direction, handing it over to staff for them to implement, and then monitoring the implementation. And again, the phrase is truing that up with feedback from our community. How can we do better? So we will have, in my mind, going forward, better systems for gathering information, better systems for adapting, but most importantly, we'll have better systems for communicating with each other, with the commissioners, so that we talk to each other about what work are we doing, how do we coordinate that, how do we coordinate with county staff, how do we integrate all that we're doing into the fabric of the community. That's what I want to see going forward. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. And then finally, I'll just ask, is there anything that we didn't give you space to cover in those questions that you'd like to let people know about you or about why you're running as we go forward?
I will. So Andy, Clatsop County Commissioners operate under the auspices of the charter, the Clatsop County Charter, which specifies that Clatsop County Commissioners are volunteers. That means in order to be a Clatsop County Commissioner, a person has to be either independently wealthy from a pension or a trust fund or, just inherited wealth. They have to be retired, or they have to be part-time. That puts us at a strategic disadvantage when we're dealing with all of the other commissioners in Oregon, because other people get paid for this all around us. They've been able to build on the work of full-time paid county commissioners. So people have worked hard during COVID. People have worked hard on the Clatsop County Board of Commissioners. We have, according to our charter, been at that structural disadvantage. I'd like to see us evaluate what do folks in Clatsop County want from their county board of commissioners, and what's the best structure in the charter to deliver on that. I'd like us to take a look at that and consider the costs and benefits, because I always like to look at who's paying the cost and who gets the benefit of having a different way to do county commissioners. I'd like us to say, do we want to pay county commissioners? Because the commissioners now get a stipend. We're not allowed to bill for mileage and meals within Clatsop County. So we get a stipend to offset that. That's not enough to live on. If we said we want our county commissioners to devote themselves to Clatsop County full-time, because that's what I've done. I didn't start until I had pensions to support me, Social Security and a little state pension to support me, so that I could devote myself full-time. I started in county government in 1968. I knew what a county commissioner was way back then because we had them. And when I came to Clatsop County and saw that people thought, oh, you're supposed to set the policies, turn them over to the staff, and then go home. Oh, your job as a commissioner is to read your board packet and show up at the meetings. I thought, that isn't like anything I've ever seen anyplace else. County commissioners reach out and find out how to get resources and bring them back home. if we don't have more full-time commissioners, I don't know how we do that. Because people say, oh, the charter says we're part-time. No, the charter doesn't say we're part-time. The charter just says we're volunteers. I had the intention, I had the means of support that I could devote myself full-time to it. I think we would benefit, all of us here would benefit if we had the option of having full-time paid commissioners. I don't know, we'll see if other people agree with me, but that's what I'd like to see. If we brought more resources to bear in service of effective liaison work, because it's that reaching out, it's bringing in the resources from the broader environment that lets us do this. And the other thing I want to manufacture mass plywood panel modular housing in Clatsop County, because I still want more housing. I still want more ecologically sustainable economic development. I want good manufacturing, value-added jobs to the forest products so that we can cut and use the timber more efficiently, more productively. I want to raise all boats here because we have certain segments of our economy that are flourishing. We have certain other ones that are not. But how do people in Clatsop County make best use of their skills? How do we make most respectful and effective use of our environment? How do we heal each other? How do we heal the place? We've got problems with the widening gap between rich and poor. We've got mental health and substance use disorders. How do we address those? We need an adequate tax base. And that's businesses that are making money and paying taxes. The third thing is District 5. District 5 is the whole southern half of Clatsop County. It goes from the southern half of Seaside all the way down to the Tillamook County line. So Cannon Beach, Arch Cape, Cove Beach, it goes east all the way to Miss Birkenfeld, all the way up into Fishhawk Lake, all the way to the Columbia County line. So Elsie, Vine, Maple, Jewel, all of those are inside the southern half of Clatsop County. We're where the money comes from. Forestry revenues, we have beachfront mansions that pay lots in property taxes, and we have tourism dollars. How do we make District 5 function well? All over it. Thanks. I'm done, huh?
Thank you. So again, I just want to reiterate, Lianne, thank you for joining us today. I congratulate and thank you on running for a third term as commissioner. We, as a party, appreciate so many people who put, as you say, their volunteer time and energy into making our county a better place to live. So we always appreciate people who are willing to step up and do that work over and over. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us today. And good luck in the campaign.
Thank you. It's a community building thing, Andy.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Lianne. Take care.